What's good, Ravens fans? It's your boy JG from the Ravens Space, back with another Ravens Space reaction. And today we're reacting to some insiders talking to GMs and talking about where Lamar Jackson may go. So I'm going to play the video. I'm going to interrupt like once or twice when it comes to important points, but then I'm going to get into it at the end and give you some in-depth details and knowledge of what I think. So let's do it.
Our Jeremy Fowler released a piece in which he polled NFL executives and he asked them to make a variety of bold predictions about various quarterbacks and where they may wind up. So we go from the rookies we don't know anything about them to these guys. We know everything about them. And look at these predictions. They're predicting Tom Brady as a Raider, Lamar Jackson as a Falcon, Derek Carr as a Texan, Aaron Rodgers as a Colt. I'll pretend I didn't see that one. And let me circle back. D-Wood, I'm looking. Look at D-Wood. Look at D-Wood. Look, staring at the Lamar one. What are you staring at?
Yeah, I'm zeroed in on that Lamar. It's like I can't even imagine a world with Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore and going to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we talked about Lamar is the system when it comes to Baltimore? And would you be would the Baltimore would be willing to deal with the system to another team? Like it's just crazy.
To be fair, they were asking for bold predictions. So it's not that they're saying it's likely, but I do think it's possible. And I think it's possible because it's not about Lamar and the Ravens. It's about continuing the precedent that was set by Deshaun Watson. So I think it's ridiculous for them to blow up their team because they don't want to pay Lamar $1 more than the last guy. But I think that it's not as ridiculous if the entire league is behind Steve Bisciotti. Like, you better not do that again. You better not, because if you capitulate, then every other quarterback from this point forward is going to be like, they did it for Lamar, they did it for Deshaun Watson. You better do it for me, and they should.
As they should.
So what do you think? I mean, do you look? I see an easy way why this happens. To the point you just made,
is like that's what makes
he wants what he wants. They're not going to give him what he wants, and in the end, he's not going to play on the franchise tag. So I believe there's a really good chance he winds up somewhere else.
No, I just think that do I see something? Could I see something like that happening? Absolutely, because of what you just said. I'm just saying, like, Lamar Jackson in Baltimore is just
it's jarring. It's jarring.
It's like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together.
It's jarring to see the idea of him going somewhere else, but I think it's very real.
Well, we just saw Russell Wilson go to the Denver Broncos. We saw Tom Brady go to the Bucs. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially now that we're talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially, who knows, whatever he wants to do, going somewhere else. The shame of it is that in my mind, every quarterback should be doing what Lamar is doing because the system will never change until all these guys. We got Joe Burrow. We got.
All right, so let me jump in really quickly here. And again, cool for everything else. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. And there is something that is happening that is in other business practices illegal, right? For example, guys, it is illegal for Apple, the company Apple, to call Microsoft, and then for Microsoft to say, "Oh, wait a minute, let me get Facebook on three-way," and for them to have a conversation, and it's legal for them to say, "Hey, we're not going to pay anyone more than $50,000." That is illegal. It's anti-competitive. You cannot do that. Similarly, they cannot call each other and say, "Hey, there's a new person on the market. Let's make sure that no one goes to them." That's illegal. You cannot do that. And that is exactly what the NFL owners are doing. This is why it's a good chance that Lamar Jackson won't get the contract he wants. Because other organizations and the NFL want Lamar Jackson not to get a fully guaranteed contract because they don't want to have to pay fully guaranteed contract. Now, is that right? Of course not. Is it true? Of course it is. And will they succeed? Yes, guys. Sometimes the big corporations win, and that's just what it is, right? And this is one of those situations where the league is going to work together, and this is the stuff no one talks about, right? The league works together, and they get certain things done. And this is one of those things. Lamar will not get the contract he wants, I don't think. He should. He will not. Simply because they don't want to set that precedent. Is it possible for Lamar to go to the Falcons? I think it's very possible. I think it's highly possible. I think there might, the only other choice that I think is more possible is the Miami Dolphins. But I don't know what their cap situation is like because they have so many great players. I know for a fact Atlanta makes too much sense for the Falcons not to do it. I would even, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, to be 100% honest, depending on what you have to give up, right? You don't give up, 3 first-round picks without confirming with Lamar. But if Lamar says, I want a guaranteed contract, and the Ravens are just like, hey, we'll get up off of him for a first and a second from a bad team like the Falcons, and maybe a third next year. Why not? Why not even run that chance if you're the Falcons, right? Now, again, that is outlandish, right? Just the first and second is outlandish. People get fired for that. We won't. Let me say we. Steve Bisciotti won't. Not Steve Bisciotti. I'm sorry. Eric DaCosta won't. But people do get fired in the NFL for things like that. But I think Lamar would go to Atlanta. And can you just imagine, guys, what the crowds in that stadium are going to be like to see Lamar Jackson? The improved Michael Vick. Do you know what that would be like? Look at this, guys. I want to show you guys something that's on the screen here. This behind the screen, right? You can't see it. This is what it says, guys. It says Lamar Jackson is 45-16 as the Ravens starting quarterback. I gotta show you guys this. I'm sorry. I gotta show you guys this. 45-16. This level of winning is unprecedented for many, many teams in the NFL. I think there's only 3 quarterbacks with a better record than Lamar Jackson through as many games he's played, and one of them is Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. The other one is Joe Montana, the second greatest of all time at the quarterback position. Guys, we gotta understand that we are playing with fire, and we will lose the best quarterback this franchise has ever had. Guys, I know we like to, again, the Ravens like to think that we are the best of the best. We have 2 Super Bowls in 24 years. We're not, again, guys, you know what I'm saying? We're not the San Francisco 49ers with a long history of winning and just a hiatus, right? That's not us. We win a Super Bowl every 10 years. Better than some teams, but in order for us to even catch a team, like some of the best teams in the league, like the Patriots, when I'm saying the best, I mean in league history, not just this year. I'm talking about league history. To catch some of those teams, the Chiefs, I think, have 3. We have to keep the great players. Lamar Jackson's a great player. We cannot just let him go. And that is sad if we do, and I'll be extremely disappointed. I'll let the rest of the video play, just so if there's anything I missed, I'll comment and to give you guys, the full context. So
Justin Herbert, like all these guys coming up, they deserve to get this kind of money.
Right.
And if you were in that position, you would say 230 is my my offer. That's what I'm going for.
If there's any position that can do it, it is the quarterbacks, because they're closer to ownership than they are the other 52 guys in the locker room. And the thing I'll say about Lamar in Atlanta, something about that just feels right. Something about that. And I think that the other part about this is this. We can't discount how Lamar feels about how Eric DaCosta has handled this. Eric DaCosta negotiated like he Nino Brown from New Jack City, saying it's not personal, it's just business, B. But Lamar Jackson clearly is taking this very personal if you look at it on his social media tweets. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it just feels like even if Baltimore comes to the table with the money that Lamar is looking for, he might have already made his decision about wanting to get out of Baltimore.
Business.
I have to leave this here. Thank you for watching ESPN.
all right. So again, that last point I don't necessarily agree with. I do think Lamar is taking it as business as well. And I think Lamar knows that it's not Eric DaCosta, right? The salary cap took the largest jump it has ever taken. It will continue to go up. There's enough money for Lamar. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care what you say. You can get it done. They just don't want to set the precedent. Steve Bisciotti, if you guys did not know this, is the richest person in Maryland. Let me say that one more time into the mic so you guys can hear. Steve N. Bisciotti is the richest man, or woman for that case, in the state of Maryland. If you're the richest person in any state, you gotta understand how crazy that is. And here's the thing, too, guys. Let me. If you look at the statistic, Maryland has the highest household income of any state. Okay, they do. They have the highest household income of any state. I want to say that clear into the microphone. Look it up. Look it up. It's the richest man in the richest state, and he can't make this happen. Now I understand he don't own Amazon. I get it. He's not the richest man in the world. He's the richest man in Maryland, and he can get it done. And they're only not getting it done because they don't want to set a precedent for the entire NFL, and that's not good business, I don't think. So we'll see what happens. The Ravens, we're gonna have a come to Jesus moment, guys, and strap up, buckle in, because I don't know where this is going, but I'll be here with you every step of the way. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.